It's worth mentioning that the art market is stratified in at least three dimensions. So one dimension is the market leader, market follower story, that there's one art house which has quite a dramatically stronger share of the market. There's also a stratification in terms of artists. So there are 30 artists who essentially account for approximately 43% of all lots sold, and 30 artists who account for 75% of market value that is realized. So there's a clear stratification there. So one thing that really matters for what you can expect to realize is having a piece of art from those 30 artists. They're just going to be more valuable, they're going to fetch higher prices. What matters is the medium of the artwork. So one thing that stands out is that on average across all lots that are brought to sale, oils clearly fetch a higher price than alternative forms of painting, for instance. So the medium really matters. The theme of the painting matters. So we find that, for instance, still lifes and portraits tend to sell at a premium over landscapes. So the theme of the painting matters a lot. Size matters. So there's bigger is better. So the bigger the artwork, the higher the price it will fetch. But there's also a non-linearity involved there. So what you see is that there's an optimal size of the artwork. We find that that's at approximately 21,000 square centimeters for paintings, which corresponds to a painting of about 1.45 by 1.45 meters. And then finally, when you talk about the fact that there's whether or not this market behaves like an asset market, it does, but with qualification. So that's the third stratification. I talked about the two auction houses, I talked about the artists. The third stratification is that the market is segmented into three quite distinct segments. A market below R1 million, a market between R1 million and R3 million, and then a market that's above R3 million. The three parts of the market behave differently, and the part of the market that behaves most like an asset market is the market above R3 million. There what you find is that there's a positive correlation of prices with GDP, so faster growth results in higher prices. And then for the rest, art seems to behave like a risk diversification measure. So it is positively correlated with the Dow Jones index, it is negatively correlated with the JSE index. So it's essentially a risk diversification measure for investors in the JSE.